cool. Did you know that when we watch anime, we often get completely absorbed in the story? But sometimes, there are unique compositional choices happening behind the scenes that we don't always notice. One great example of this can be found in Frieren. If you know, this scene actually doesn't exist in the original manga. Scenes like this are especially interesting to study, particularly when it comes to how the anime uses color composition and diagonal direction within the frame. These original additions can reveal a lot about how visual storytelling works, beyond just adapting the source material. For example, when Stark pauses for a moment to tell Sign that Frieren might be the kind of lady he's been looking for, the leaf in the foreground creates a 3D illusion that helps cover Stark's blocking position, who's positioned in a straight line directly facing the camera. So you can see for yourself that the steps in the background don't really show its depth, they're just parallel lines. In other words, this frame only gives the impression of perspective because of the framing you see in the shot before it. Because you know they're walking down the stairs, you can imagine the steps. But if you cover the leaf in the foreground and watch this scene on its own, you'd visualize something completely different. Maybe a little more. Oh no, I can't forget the previous frames that keep reminding me that there are stairs behind Stark. Yeah. The use of bright colors as a visual guide and to guide the eye in this anime is really mind-blowing. That's also one of the reasons why each frame connects so smoothly with the other frames.
じゃあザイン、魔物が出たら起こしてね。
俺の魔法じゃ5秒しか。
You might not realize a clever trick the director uses in this scene, and it's something you could try applying in your own content later. Especially how the scene where they enter the village has such strong framing that reflects the situation they're about to face. You might find it interesting how the background artist in this scene created this kind of guiding the eye, but maybe we'll talk about this in another time. So please subscribe this channel, and we'll get back to the main topic.
どういうことだ? みんな眠ってる.
So, the visual storytelling that artists and animators are looking for when watching this anime is how the director uses the afternoon timeline to create contrasting colors between dark and light. When Frieren makes a dark joke, she is facing the dark side, but if you listen to what she actually said, you will be surprised how the visual storytelling works in this scene.
厄介事の匂いがするし、次の村に行こうか。
This old granny might not know how to make a joke. So, when she decides to solve the problem in the village, you can see in the next scene when Frieren enters the dark side where Sign is. But the big question is, why they choose to check the person on the shadow side? Why not the lady lying in the middle of the road? Wasn't Sin looking for a lady before, but instead chose a man when there was a lady lying in the middle of the road?
その中でも。
This is what makes Sin look so gay, but this composition is what actually creates an orientation from between a place of light and the dark place of mysterious trouble. The interesting thing is that when I thought Sign couldn't use attack magic, it turns out that his magic has a strong enough attack power for a priest.
女神の山荘!
But when Sin ran out of ideas, because his attack was reflected through, he didn't expect many that Frieren would be able to help him in just 5 seconds. But this old granny proved her experience, who immediately attacked when she opened her eyes. Maybe if I was in Frieren's position, I will back to sleep again.